abusuafo ene Ken Ofori Atta your former finance minister. Yes, your former finance minister. Sisi amene we say abusuafo ade papai eda so ehye ICE unit enya asem keto na abusua ene papai ayade wanwaso bi. Yes, papai ayade sonko bi a enya asem keto yenko ne kokotie ade papai aye na sewi abusuafo bomode na ya kire ya dwe ha eda so aye be media GH yedamase
ane na ye Kenneth Kuntunkunuku Ofori Atta. Ken Ofori Atta ebe finance minister of the Republic from 2017 to 2024. The finance minister and economic planning, the cabinet of Akufo from 2017 to 2024. Na ebusuani nyina nsa Ken Ofori Atta actual letter Akroma then chief of staff said no hon fa no kwaje apomudi naba. Na apomudi na okwaje aba no ebesi ne emedene to red alert so. Ama Attorney General because or the extradition request ako so be here Ken Ofori Atta. Na ebusuani enkomo ni nyina ne say Solomon Osidi nkomo say Ken Ofori Atta enye na aje so beba. Enti na ade a owo onye ne say won sha ase enye den. Na ebusuani before say me do be video no Ofori Atta be finance minister. Ye ka say Ofori Atta resign na ne ho nto no. O say won resign. Ma me mo sa video bi nkyerɛw. Ma mo sa video ni nkyerɛw. Na ye meto nkomo no so.
Within this state of the economy. Finance Minister, do you agree with those who say that you should not be holding conference within the current climate of the economy? Do you agree?
Well, I think there are issues of the governance of a country. Then these are always important. And I think if you see the way in which we have moderated the advertisement billboards, it shows a party that is sensitive to the current moments of the situation. But I don't think you can ever let the issue of governance go. Democracy is important. It does cost some amount of money to do that. But clearly you can see an environment that is excited about the future by being able to run a congress or conference of this nature in a way that mimics the situation in the world.
Who say resign? Will you resign because of going to the IMF when you said you are not going to the IMF?
That's not a very good question. You know, it's almost like telling a father to resign from his children because he's changed his mind. You know, there are times that decisions have to be made for the survival of a country, and therefore, if circumstances such as COVID or Ukraine war occur, which are not typical,
Now, yes, so for Ken Ofori Atta, our SI finance resigning or so on resigning. Allegedly, almost you say Ken Ofori Atta has stock like I stored money. Yeah, allegedly, Chima out him say Ken Ofori Atta our first school said then allegedly. Intino aden ombra eme account for his stewardship omba because His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and former ministers of state are now their ministers. Example like Atoforcing. Na maybe or court for a trial. Almost you say allegedly he has caused financial loss to the state during ambulance procurement. Be na ebushia Solomon says Ken Ofori Atta yen shada here wa Ghana P into the church be scan one. Na yenko because already Attorney General Ameati has said or investigate Ken Ofori Atta of offshore dealing. The case of offshore dealing sika the every one jurisdiction to another jurisdiction. Say me pese I say en common yet here see intima me more abra Attorney General case or investigate Ken Ofori Atta over offshore dealing na yemra.
Right, and then of course we are also doing our own investigations here. They are inconclusive as we speak. I mean, we have not come to any conclusion. So
this is different from the SML.
It's different, totally different, and potentially mind blowing. You know, but you know that I will not give any details at this point in time. So I started working with the Americans in respect of Ofori Atta long before OSP came up with their announcement. Even from day one, I didn't make this public, but I started investigating Ofori Atta. All right. In fact, in his case, I'm doing it with, some foreign investigators that are tracking, all the offshore dealings and so on. All right. And then, of course, we are also doing our own investigations here. They are inconclusive as we speak. We have not, come to any conclusion. So
this is different from the SML.
It's different, totally different, and potentially mind blowing. But I that I will not, give any details at this point in time. So I started working with the Americans in respect of Ofori Atta long before OSP, came up with their announcement.
Enti fast forward and no me do ran command mo nche se kene Ofori Atta enhya ase enkyerɛkyerɛ baby a sika no ɛwɔ na akyɛ se o kyerɛkyerɛ wie allegedly se oma because utrimu find the anka be banti Solomon so se allegedly na kyɛ se bibi wɔ hɔ a sika no onhya ase enkyerɛkyerɛ baby o na akyɛ se attorney general enye de engine de na akyɛ se ade be kye a obesa join the next flighter enti yenkotie Solomon so and this uncle say allegedly Ofori Atta shas in church scam. So I shall see a church because already no Attorney General has already said or initiate a year investigation to offshore dealings a year related to Ofori Atta allegedly in Kuti uncle.
And told him that Mr. President, the mere fact that you are the president of Ghana does not mean you will not respect the decision of the party, because on the ticket of the party that you became the president. So listen to what the president said. No, yesterday I was very surprised to hear from the president that no individual is bigger than the party.
That was Thursday.
That was Thursday, right?
Yes.
When he himself was bigger than the party only some few days ago. That is how life works. So he agrees. But I can understand the difficulty, because now in the party, when you go and make certain allusions or make certain statements, you are either referred as a fake person or a member of the virtual party. I don't know where he will be belonging to if he had done anything else. But in terms of principles, and he suffered for it. He lost his seat because of this, coupled with the fact that he was an Allah supporter. Sometimes you must call it, we call a spade a spade. That's how come we can have the likes of Asafo as ranking members. How can he be out of parliament and look at the people we have there? Look, this country, we are doing ourselves a great disservice. That is why if you take the United Party's constitution, ours is selection. It's not everywhere that you go and contest. You will come to the area, the person that qualifies will be who we ourselves will handpick, go and contest. Because this business of elections is breeding a lot of unqualified people to our parliament and so on and so on. So they challenged Ofori Atta. And at the end of the day, when it mattered most and the opposition said they are filed a censorship motion, it became another matter. The man got away with it. So even in power, when the man was in power, there was an attempt to get him out. Now, on the 2nd of January 2025, Ofori Atta wrote a letter to the then Chief of Staff, Femo Opare, requesting for an approval for him to leave the country. The man has not been truthful to the people of this country. We must say it as it is. He said he was going to leave this country on the 4th of January and he will return. He gave a date on the 28th of January 2025. So now what is today's date? Today is the 24th of January 2026. It's left with only 4 days for him to be a year old outside this country against his own promise. When he had not even written back to tell the current administration that, look, I said I was going to return on the 28th of January 2025. Due to A, B, C, D, I'm unable to come. There is nothing of that sort. All you hear is letters coming from a supposed letter, fake one as such, from Mayo Clinic. The man is so ill. Other times you hear from Frank Davis. I don't know whether he's his lawyer, because any release coming from his lawyers have come from Minka Premo. I don't know the last time Frank Davis became a partner at Minka Premo. But he creates the impression that he's speaking for you, will insult everybody. That, as for what? Nana Ofori Atta, is it palm kernel oil that is in? I mean, what sort of life is this? I don't need Ofori Atta in this country for anything apart from the fact that he must come and account. If he can come and show us where the monies are, the next available flight, he can go back. What do I need him here for? We were told that the man was ill. He was at the Mayo Clinic, only later to be told again by ICE that they picked him from his residence in Washington. Very expensive apartment. And ICE said that the man was that fit. Told in this country that he was ill. You see how untruthful, dishonest some people respect in this country are. When they were creating the impression in our mind that the man was ill, you see how nature works. He was exposed by the very system that, no, he is fit. And indeed, the videos that I saw during his appearance at the immigration court, the man has become so handsome. So handsome. How did you see him? So fit that he could come and attend to our court business here. Victor Salome, he was sick. He was brought back. You see, prosecution does not know whether you are sick or not. Then all armed robbers, all that they will do is that they will say, I'm sick. Then you go and sit somewhere. Senna, Ofori Atta, the inability of this current administration to bring him back will cause them that hefty defeat in 2028. Because that is what the United Party will be using to campaign. Operation Recover Olutu. That's what we are going to campaign on. And it was in their remit to bring him back. Because we cannot forget about it. We can't forget about PDS. We can't forget about National Cathedral and DDEP. Only 2 days ago, I was watching some of the videos in those days during the DDEP. That one doctor, Samuel Amakwe, an 81-year-old retired medical doctor who had invested in government bonds and said he had a problem with the kidney. That his bond was going to mature in 2023. He got affected. This man had to pick it at the Ministry of Finance. And he said this, that Mr. Ofori Atta, for Christ's sake, do not kill me softly. When we are done, killing me softly, for me. You were killing them softly. They said that you wouldn't mind. You wouldn't even look at their face. They endured. I don't know whether the man is still alive. We had Dr. Michael Ejekum tell all of us that his colleagues, 800 of them, had perished, had died because of some of the reckless decisions taken by Ofori Atta and the likes. Come and account, you say no, you won't come. Hey, so when you are no more, you bring the body into this country. Look, we must not create the impression that we have two sets of people in this country. Political class who are above the law and non-political class who are not above the law. Equality before the law. Someone is in Sawon because of plantain. Someone is in Sawon because of cocoyam. Someone is in Sawon because of a small one row. We are talking about billions. You led us to borrow 13.5 billion. We say come and account. If you come and there is nothing wrong with you, who can say anything otherwise? But this tactics of trying to say that we must assure you. Why must anybody assure anybody? There were about 124 ministers under the Eswell administration. How many of them are facing these difficulties? Including the president himself, who led us to dig a big hole. Started paying David Ajay when there was no formal contract. He's talking about Philly. Thursday, he was even giving speeches. So what is it with Ken Ofori Atta? And the longer he stays there, gives the indication that yes, he himself believes that he had done something untoward against the people of this country. Because when he was leaving this country, he never gave any indication to the authorities that he would change his residential status from a temporary visitor to a permanent resident. Now he is doing that. Clearly telling that Ghana, he doesn't have any interest in coming. And to add insult to injury, when the representative of the government, that is the ambassador to the United States of America, whose duty it is to make sure that Ghanaians' interests are protected, decides to come to your aid, he says no, he doesn't want to see anybody, he doesn't want to talk to anybody. He doesn't want to have anything to do with Ghana. Ghana says, no, we have one last thing to do with you, to do reconciliation. Check the accounts. Once you are done, you can then wash your hands off this country. We will take over. But this must serve as a lesson to also those who are in position today. That the very largesse, all the things you are enjoying, it comes from the sweat of the ordinary Ghanaian. The carriers, the tractor drivers, the taxi drivers, the teachers, the nurses, all those people whom we don't respect, it is their tax revenue that we mobilize and give it to the extent that every weekend when you open your fridge, it is stocked with beer, with Guinness and all those things. It is coming from the poor man. Why we do that is that we want to make your life comfortable so that you can make good judgment for all of us. If in spite of all these things, you will not look at it and then you still steal from us or enter into bogus agreements, then we cannot pardon you. Now, I've heard people say that why are people picketing? I heard my brother say so. I was there myself at the American embassy. You see, the United States of America has been creating the impression in this world that when they don't want to hear the word corruption because they don't practice it. And one of the reasons why Africa, and for that matter Ghana, we are poor, we are underdeveloped, is because of what? Corruption. We say, yes, we have heard you, United States of America. We agree with you. Now, the country Ghana has sent or filed an extradition application with the United States of America. Now we are being told that it has to go through a long process. So what did we do as citizens of this country? Remember, the sovereignty of this country resides in the people. So we only went to the land of the United States. Mind you, the embassy is their land. To go and tell them, appeal to their conscience that you that have been telling us all this while that you do not want to hear any issues of corruption, corrupt officials, must not allow your country to be used as a corruption sanctuary. Hosting government officials from sub-Saharan Africa, and so on and so on. And so, try your best to bring Ken Ofori Atta down. That's what we did. And believe me, after that, we went to the extent of going to Shraj to also seek the assurances from Shraj and his boss that they will make sure that when Ken Ofori Atta comes, his fundamental human rights are not what? Trampled on. The assurance was given. So what is that? We have to be applauded for this. And I believe that the new patriotic party should have joined on this occasion to send this message. Now that they are not joining this campaign to bring Ken Ofori Atta back, how would they go on a campaign platform in election 2028 and say that, given the opportunity, they will fight corruption? Remember, when Wutiri was arrested, they went and sat at Yoko. When Hanan was arrested, they went and sat at Yoko. Anybody who had been accused of corruption, who was arrested, they protested. So does it mean as a political party and entity, you support corruption? For me, it doesn't present a very good picture of them or image of them. But I believe that the longer Ken Ofori Atta stays in the United States, the better for the United Party. A lot of discerning minds will then know that indeed the party NPP under Nana Akufo-Addo came to loot the entire country, and never again would we allow looters the opportunity to lead us. I will end it here.
Thank you. You're still watching the Mother World Talk shows, Alaji and Alaji. Mr. Brad?
Well, first of all, I want to clear a few cobwebs, before I get to the substantive issue. It is not true that there are no rules and laws governing the granting of bail, and that no thresholds are set. It cannot be true. First, there has been a lot of litigation in the courts about levels of bails and so on. The courts have made decisions and all. And indeed, those who practice law insist that precedent is itself law and it's applicable and so on. Beyond that, there are clear rules, and laws about bail and its efficacy and so on. Now, thirdly, I'm not aware today of anybody whose rights to bail has been abused in this administration. I am not aware. If anybody has any case and they bring it up, we will look at it and discuss it. But I'm not aware of any case of abuse of rules and laws governing the granting of bail. That's number one. Number two, I'm just shocked at the theater around the Ofori Atta case. That's pure theater.